Okay. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm Steve. Welcome to Steve Builds. I had a little bit of scare there. I hit the wrong button on my Rode wireless mic setup and accidentally put my microphone on mute, and then I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see the sound meter going, and it took me a minute. So, hello. Welcome to the stream. We got quite a few people here. My regulars, Nathan and Squirrel Brain and Brian and Stuart, Tony and Remy and Sanity, Jose, G Funny Money. How's everyone doing? Hi, Joker Nut and Steve and Mr. Clown. Let's see where we're at. Let's get some music going. Midweek stream. I won't be able to do many of these, but I wanted to do this one because I've had this Prusa for a few weeks and I don't want to hold on for too long. It belongs to a local friend of mine. He's been having trouble with it. So I've been telling him for really over a year that, hey, I can work on this. It'll be fun. This is well before I was even streaming. So now that I get to work on it on stream, it's even better. So, hey, Derek. Hi, Shoy, Daniel and Peacemaker. Bob and Stumbling Fool. Let's see. Let's get some music going. Refresh. Peel the screen. So it's not my printer. I don't know if it's okay for me to peel the screen. Let's see where this is. Let's shuffle and repeat, and you guys should be able to hear it now. Let me see if I can get a little bit to maybe lightly. Oh yeah, corner camera. What do you think of that? I figured I'd try it. Get some prints going on the V2 behind me. So Switchwire hatchling. It's a Switchwire's ancestor. Feel it? We'll pick an opportune time to peel it. I don't think we've earned peeling the plastic off the screen yet. I mean, look at it. It's not ready yet. So the plan here, I've troubleshot the printer. I know a little bit of what was causing some problems. So the plan is to correct those, identify them, correct them, and then go through and I'm going to completely rebuild it. I printed replacement parts out of, this is KVP fluorescent blue ABS, and then KVP black ABS. We may run into problems with part shrinkage and not fitting quite right, so we'll see. I hope not. I've built 2 other Prusas out of ABS and they both went well, but we shall see. Hi, Dean. Midnight Software Developing. Midnight in the UK. Hi, Maxine. Echo 2 Papa 2. So a Prusa is not intended to be an enclosed printer. So the elevated chamber temperatures isn't going to increase the problem from heat creep and screws loosening from that. I know when I printed my first Voron on a couple of Prusas in an enclosure, I was tightening it every bit because it would get louder the more it printed. So we've got, let's see, what other things can I update on? We installed this camera, this there, the display. We installed the camera this last Sunday, and I really liked the way it went, and you guys were nice enough to leave a bunch of them for me at Amazon. So I bought a small pile of them. So these will go on the various other printers, and maybe I can switch out whatever I'm printing. Can go up there or whatever. I also got a very nice package from our Czech and Slovak Voron community. And I'm not going to go over every little thing that came in that today, but over time we're going to be covering some stuff. So a huge thanks to Sanity and Tomas and Pavel and the last name, and Richard. I tried to remember all of them, but I didn't make it. So big thanks. Like I said, one of them was some build surfaces from OSEQ. How do you say that? Or is it just an acronym? You can see it in the print that's going here. It's got a really cool temperature indicator along the front edge, and that turns bright red when it's hot, and when it cools down it gets dark. So let me see, I need to catch up. So Derek, $10, thank you. And we'll see how these Wednesday streams go. So I won't be able to do them often, but what else? Is to Scooby. Thanks for the hard work, Steve. 999. Thank you. Hi, David. Friend of mine gave me this stuff 2 years ago. He's moving out of the country. Game board covers, screen protector still on it. Yep. OSEC, I'd say. It's called OSEC. Okay. Hi, Johnny Boytech. I'm doing well. Yes, there were candies, and they are delicious. I'm particularly fond of the Slavia ones. Let's see. Which camera? It is the WaveShare 5 megapixel, the little thin, small form factor. Here. Let's just do a quick. If you search for that OV5648 5 megapixels. So don't search for WaveShare. Search for OV5648. It is a very small form factor. There's a couple of mounts out there. It seems to fit pretty well. Turn my music down a little bit. Okay. Thanks, Sanity. That works. Give me just a second. Okay. So I've partially disassembled this printer. Just kind of digging into it before I decided that I wanted to do this on stream. I wasn't sure whether we were going to do this or not. So it is apart a little bit. This is just going to be kind of not really a tutorial how to assemble a Prusa. It's really just hang out while I work on this, swapping out the parts, correcting a few things. But it is going to be 100% factory spec Prusa parts. I couldn't really decide on an enclosure, so I reprinted this one, even though it opens from the inside. All the parts are just the latest revision off of the Prusa GitHub. We're gonna get an early Charlie visit. One more question about accessories. Which touch display you use? Also WaveShare? Yes. So the WaveShare 4.3 inch with the DSI connector is what I use. So, everybody say hi, Charlie. Because he can read. He's been sleeping all day, I hear. Oh, so where are we gonna go? We're just gonna start taking certain things off. Like this is gonna go that way. We're gonna replace that. Get this out of the way. How do you guys like this little view of the printer printing? Is it distracting, or is it a good thing? I did not pick the inverted case Sanity. I looked at them, but in prep and trying to get ready for today, I went with a known quantity. So we shall, oop, that should go over. We'll just go with the spec stuff. So it's going to, everything's going to be pretty much as it is. So I think my friend was having trouble. He was having trouble with the thermistor. He ended up replacing it. I think that's part of what the continuing problems were. He replaced it with an E3D thermistor that you can buy from most shops that have a connector here. And then that means that the other side in the control board, it had from where he bought it, it had a DuPont connector on there. And that wasn't a tight fit into the controller board. It should be a Molex, I think it's a Molex SL connector. So I swapped that. I've already crimped that connector on, and my initial tests were positive that it seemed to correct the thermal runaway issues it was having. So we're gonna refine that fix. I'm probably gonna get rid of this connector here at the tool head and just solder those wires together so it's not bulky, and run that through the harness. The screen is very busy. Yeah, I can see that. The V2 is doing some more prints of ERCF parts. So I had my Z height a little high for the last prints I did of those parts. So I've corrected that and reprinting those. And so it's a couple of a selector part, the 80 tooth gear, but then the little test piece that the RCF has for fitting things. Charlie, you should not rub on my laptop, because if you disconnect that Thunderbolt connector, it's going to be bad. Okay. So I've only done about 3 prints on the OSEC sheet. So far it's positive. I really like the finish it's giving. It's like it's a satin finish, and it seems to be sticking well. There is a very thin part of this part I'm printing that lifted up, but I think that would do that on any part. It's like 2 perimeters wide, and it's long, so it lifts up on the end. I've got my music just playing through the laptop speakers. I don't think it's going to get back to you guys though. So I'm gonna probably disconnect all the controller and get all this apart and go through that. So we'll just deal with Charlie, I guess. But if you look here, this wire here is the thermistor, and this used to have a DuPont connector on the end of it. Let's see if I can get my finger in there. And then I changed it to a Molex SL. That was Charlie knocking over the camera. I changed it to a Molex SL connector, which is what Prusa uses. Every other piece that I've printed on that, I don't know if I can get a good, I mean, this is, yeah. So this piece here, very, I don't know if it's showing up, very obviously too high, but even like here, there's no spots where it was lifting. So I think it was just that super thin. Here, I'll show you. This piece here, you see how thin that is? That's what lifted up, and you can see it. See where it lifted up. It's just, at the build surface, it's like 2 perimeters wide. Music is sounding better today. Okay. I'm not even trying to use my AirPods. I just have it very low coming through the laptop speakers. So we're just gonna pull this whole thing apart, put it back together with the new pieces, and go from there. I'm just gonna, we'll end up referencing the Prusa documentation when we put it back together. So I'm just gonna unplug things, not worrying about where they came from. Prusa's documentation is really good. You're right in the middle of it, Charlie. Should hide that Prusa QR code. Oh, really? What does that actually show? Is it just a link to anything? Is it a unique identifier? Let's put it that way. Does anybody know? Do this. Although I'm sure it's been on camera long enough to where I can't do anything about it now, but does anybody know if that's a unique identifier that matters? I mean, I know this thing isn't under warranty. I mean, let's see here. It's been on camera, but I have no idea, so give me just a moment. There. Now we don't worry about it. Even though it's probably too late. You already tried it, but it isn't working. Perfect. I think there is yep, you can get to, Charlie, you're right in camera view. Let's go there. Get to one of the mounts here. Through the grill. I think is the other one down here. Let's see. There we go. I get it, Jimmy. I'm mostly being funny. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. These can stay partially in there. That's for the control box to the frame. Hi, Sean. It is warm in here. It is warm. I'm gonna have to do something because it is not hot today and it is already warm in here. So this summer is gonna be fun. Okay. Well, INZ Rambo controller board, all this stuff. But really what I wanted was this to be out of the way. Oops. Drayden, so this is a local friend's Prusa, and I've been offering for a while, because he was having trouble with it, I've been offering for a while to help him fix it. So today is just take it apart and put it back together with care, right? We're trying to go through and optimizing the assembly as much as I know how. If you guys have any tips as I'm going along, don't hesitate to bring them up in chat. Just don't be offended if I don't do a suggestion. If I like a suggestion, I'll do it. But if I don't, it doesn't mean anything. Charlie does that a lot. He'll just sit there staring at something. So these guys are getting all of this. Now I noticed that this doesn't have the nylon cord. Oh, there it is. Never mind, it does. It felt a little flimsy to have it and I didn't feel it in there, but it does have it. That's good. You install AC systems for a living? A mini split? I've looked at the mini splits. They're really cool. I'm just not sure where it would work here. I have highly inefficient, one of those standalone stupid AC units, but that thing's really power hungry. The Weekend Warrior, I've started my 2.4 build. I've got a 1mm gap with the pulley in the idler, so the pulley can move side to side around 1mm. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. It'll float. It's intended to float. Ken, I am planning on repacking the bearings. And I don't even remember the exact order for pulling these things apart. I'm just kind of pulling it apart, so we'll worry about putting it back together correctly. Hi, Grant. Does this come off now, or does this one have to come off? There we go. I could put it in the ceiling? That's an interesting thought. Go. David. Check 250. Yesterday I configured Clicky with your video. Awesome. I'm glad it was helpful. And thank you. Excuse me. Here's what improved my Prusa MK3s. I got a copper E3D heater block, titanium heat break, and a steel nozzle. I'm halfway there with you. this is getting a copper block, for sure. I don't know that I have a titanium heat break though. I should actually check because I might. ANH30. My first printer was a cheap knockoff of the Prusa 7 years ago. Wow. It's a lot longer than my 3D printing history. So we have other little things like the part cooling fan has some tape on it for some reason. We'll investigate that, but this looks okay. This is a third part or sun-on Hotend fan that my friend had installed, which is good. That's a good thing, I think, to use that. What is the advantage of a copper block over aluminum? The you have, let me see where it is. On a V6 Hotend, the Prusa uses by default. You have an aluminum heatsink, a stainless steel or titanium heat break, and then normally an aluminum heat block, and then a brass or whatever nozzle. I found I could not get, when I was running V6s, if I switched to a hardened steel nozzle, I could not get, because of heat expansion and differing expansion rates for the different metals here, I couldn't keep it from loosening up when I was using a aluminum heater block. But once I switched to a copper heater block, that problem went away. They stayed tight for me. So due to the differing thermal expansions of the materials there, the combination of copper block and steel nozzle seems to work better than a aluminum block and a steel nozzle. Killer Print, you picked up a Revo Micro today. Any experience with one of your machines? Yes, because I was in the beta program. Is this? Yep, that one's a Revo Micro. So this one I bought. I paid for this in the initial order from E3D back when they went on pre-order in December. And it arrived a few weeks ago. So it's going to go on something. I just don't know what yet. I don't know that titanium is better than bimetal or not there, Drayden, but I don't have a bimetal and I might have a titanium. Pulling all the wires out. And Jimmy, I've seen your suggestions on the mini split stuff. I appreciate it, and I'm trying to take note to look some of that up, like the what did you say? Sealing cassette. That intrigues me. But yeah, here. Okay. It's got some tape there, and I want to figure out why. I don't know if it's coming loose in there. We might have to fix that. Oh yeah, I've got piles of square nuts if I lose any. So I'm not too worried about that. Where does this? Okay, that's going there. That's there. So here, Adrian, 10 pounds. I was installing Stealth Burner with your video and you went live. Did you manage to finish up the Toolhead PCB cover you modified for Clockwork 1 and Stealth Burner? So the one I worked on hasn't been completed, but there's another one being worked on that we should be able to release soon. So just stay tuned. There's a better one. It's much better than the one I had modified the Heart K one, but this other one is much better. Fits a lot better. Here. Crack the case from over tightening on what? I don't know. Okay, we got some magnets and this little filament sensor pieces and what area are you in, Jimmy? I think the Dragon is a better option versus E3D copper block. This will be fine. This printer will work very well with just with everything cleaned up, care taken in assembly. As it is, it will be a very reliable and useful printer for my friend. Just had some. This is a pre-assembled. This was originally a pre-assembled unit from Prusa, but something happened along the way, and it just needs some care. Hi, Christian from Copenhagen. Rando, this is just a spec rebuild is what we're doing on the Prusa. No idea what. Hey, Steven. What is that? Oh, a little bit of toasty around the heater block. It had actually melted to the carriage here. Okay, I am going to want to try to be very gentle about getting this magnet out because that's brittle. Ah, there's a hole on this side, so we're gonna push it out rather than try to pull it out. There we go. As I drop the brittle thing. Linus Text Tips has some video where he put a heat pump into his house using the ceiling units. Let's see here. I want to pull these, or use these nuts. Go. Throw this back out the door and build another legacy? You mean switch wire? A legacy out of, I guess I could use the rods, a couple other pieces, but not much else as useful as it on a legacy. Yeah, Torx Fighter, all the replacement parts are going to be ABS. Okay. Oop. Well, that brittle part just cracked as I was trying to recover this square nut. What else do we have? We have a square nut here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to recover that one very easily. Oh, maybe. There we go. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that's all of them from that piece. Just set those over out of the way. Kenneth, did you see CNC Kitchen's cut nozzle on Twitter about ABS gunk and oil on the nozzle? I saw the picture, but I don't really have any thoughts. I don't know. I mean, it's got some gunk, but does it affect the print? I don't know. Ken, you said makes it easier to get the square nuts out. What does? I might have missed your first comment. Ooh, maybe it's just the shirt. It's awfully warm in here. What ABS are you using? I'm looking for a nice bright orange ABS. So this is not ABS. So this is all the factory Prusa PET G. However, Prusa makes an ASA in this color, Prusament Orange ASA, and it's a really bright, really nice color. if you look at my more recent switch wire, the dual color one, that's all Prusa ASA. Okay. I'm gonna end up with just a mess here, but we'll get it cleaned up. And we got a bunch of nuts to recover from this piece. So what do we have here? More toastiness from the heat block. Yeah, Prusa ASA is really nice. I've used the orange and the Galaxy Black, or what I own. I actually haven't printed with the Galaxy Black. I printed a bunch with the orange, though. If you want this bright orange, I don't know what else is out there. I just know that the Prusa stuff is nice and bright. There's plenty of orange ASAs and ABSs out there. Just not much of it is as vibrant as this. I don't know what bearings these are. They do not appear to have any marks on them. Maybe they do. They're a little rough too. We'll see how they do when I clean them up. Otherwise we might... I don't know if we'll end up having to replace them. We'll see how they do after we re-grease them. I think that melting is probably somewhat normal. It's really close to the heater block. But this also had some temperature sensor issues, so it may have hit some extreme temperatures as well. Although thermal protection should correct that. It depends on how it fails. I think I got everything here. That giant fan that Angus at Maker's Muse made was pretty awesome. I just watched that video today. So I don't know where you're at, Q, but check if you're in the US and you can find it in stock. Check, oops, I dropped a nut. Check Prusa's shipping rates for 2 spools. They've optimized their shipping rates for 2 spools and see if it's worth it to you there. Dougal, I have an original Mars, not a Pro, not a 2. I have an original Mars that I never print with because it's annoying. I don't like resin. And I don't have a good enough need for it, a compelling enough need to get past the mess and stuff. And check the X-rods for damage too. Yeah, so there's a possibility that we may be going through this and identifying things and then coming back to it. So that's part of this. So if it's Mark 3S, then some parts are ASA, the hot end mount and the pin to probe. Okay. And the fan is probably ASA, right? The fan shroud. Well, we got the tool head all off. Let's take the I think I can get to the display here. Get it out of the way. Q, you're in Canada, just a bit. Okay. But see if they've done it for there as well. I mean, it's worth checking. Although Sanity seems to think that you might be out of luck. Oh, that's right. Printed Solid started carrying some of it, huh? So display. It is, I think, isn't the blue some of the somewhat newer version? I don't know. I haven't kept up with the Prusa stuff at all. Okay. Let's leave the Y assembly together a bit. This filament guide tube anchor reverse Bowden thing is my design. You can find this actually on Thingiverse. So we'll use a new printout of that. Where is? There we go. Uses nylock nuts on the back here to hold in place. Are there what are the updates on the Prusa XL? I have not seen any updates. If I do well enough on this build, you think Prusa will send me an XL? If I talk it up enough. Let me let Charlie out. Check the Y movement. You may want to replace the clips holding the bearings on the rails. I am. I printed some. I found some. I've used a different printed version. I found some on Prusa printers that I'm going to try. I saw the latest version. They have a little like plastic folded clip for the Mark 3s Plus. Thingiverse, because I uploaded that to Thingiverse before prusaprinters.org existed. Yeah, these don't feel. I don't want to keep moving them on there just in case. I don't. It's pretty dry, so I'll move these to one side and not move them a bunch. Some very nice prints out of Filament. I've not tried any Filamentum. I'm curious what they're going to end up doing with the Mark IV. Q will be your shortest build. Take it out of the box, add a top hat over in 10 minutes. You know, I've gotten a couple of emails now from Chinese representatives for different companies. And I think it's more like stores rather than like Creality or whatever, asking if I want to review one of their printers on my channel. And everything they have listed there are like longers and artilleries and all these things that come 90% assembled. And it's like, that doesn't really interest me. I'd be game to explore something that required a significant amount of assembly. But if I have to bolt a gantry to something and then start printing, that's not what my channel's about. Your Mark 3s Plus upgrade kit contained metal clips. So those are metal. I couldn't tell if they were metal or not. Here, let me bring this up. I think this is what I want. This is the manual for the 3s Plus, I think. And right up here, those are metal then? They kind of looked plastic to me. Like maybe a bent heated and formed ABS or something. Hobbyist notes, how does Prusa handle Z-Sync on this printer? There's a function in the controllers for auto Z calibrate, and all it does is move both Z steppers up until it hits the these top mounts, and it just grinds it against there to auto tram. It just lets the steppers skip. It probably reduces current to the drivers for the steppers and runs it up until it skips, and they just assume that it's going to be level at that point, and it's probably level enough. Then your mesh takes care of it from there. Exactly, Mr. Clown. It's Steve builds, not Steve unboxes. I got those two on my channel, and I'm on a FreeCAD channel. Yeah. Yeah, there's yeah. Bearing clips are metal. Okay, that's interesting. I kept looking for those in the printed parts and never found them, so I assumed they were some manufactured part. So as expected, I wouldn't expect any problems with the Z, but those look pretty good. This one. I'm just visually looking for scratches that would be from the bearings, and that one looks fine. Do I have any paper towels? I'm not feeling anything. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I think the Z's are probably fine. They are powder coated. That's what makes them look like that. Careful with the palm nuts. Well, let's take them off. Don't turn it on, takes it apart. Probably run a Q-tip or something in there, try to get any little debris out. On my Prusa, the Z's have never had a problem. The Y rods are usually the first to go. Okay. Well, we'll inspect all of them. And then we'll should. Oop. There's that nut. Oh, that's the. There we go. Oh, there's that one. I saw them. I see them both. Recovered. See if we can get all those apart. Clean and oil the Z shafts. Yeah, we'll do most things. That's a little crunchy. I might need to replace that. That's got a pretty good crunch in it. So this will be a disassembly and evaluation build. Try to sneak in from the side. There we go. Yeah, I just spread the plastic apart to get those out. Let's take a look. Are these marked for any kind of brand? No, they're completely void of any kind of marks, any kind of text, anything. They just say LM8UU on the ends. I can't tell. There's no branding, no part number, no manufacturer on them. Do not grease the threaded rods because of the palm nuts. I get that. I think we're gearing up to a multi-part. Oh yeah, yeah. So I wasn't intending to do all of this today. This was get it apart, kind of evaluate. We'll look at each of these bits and pieces. I'll clean the bearings and as well as I can, re-oil them, and then see how they ride on the rods. Let's take these out and take a look with my handy dandy 5x readers. So let's see here. There's some marks. Is it buildup or is it scratched? Yeah, those are scratched pretty bad. I very seriously doubt we'll be able to capture this on camera. But there is let's see if we ride this along, if that's showing, that line. Just ride it along in the, I don't know if it's showing or not. I see that. I can feel those with my fingernail. Today is a Steve Van build, yes. Now it's possible that I have suitable replacements here. I'll have to go looking through my stuff. Let's see how this one is. It seems to be just that top one that's got that. This one looks fine. So looks like one of them. There's a very good chance that I have one of those, but I'll have to go through my stuff. I won't be able to do that on camera. Ben, bike ride. I've been on 2 bike rides since the last stream. It has been good. I went on a bit of a ride on Sunday and then noticed that my seat bones were really sore on yesterday's ride. I went on a ride yesterday and I powered through, but I was pretty sore. I am trying to do I want to try to average like every other day. I don't know exactly how old this printer printer is. It is a MK3s, but that could still be. I think that was introduced in January of 2019. Is when the Mark IIIs was started arriving. I know that because I ordered a second Prusa before it was released, like a week and a half before it was released, and they made sure I got the latest version. There was a free upgrade or whatever they ended up doing. You just twist the rod. Yeah, you're right. I could twist it and make sure that it's not riding on those grooves, but I probably have something I can replace it with. And we haven't looked at the Y rods yet either. All those boxes behind contain spare parts. These are all the new parts that I printed for this build. Let's see. I feel like there was a... Oh, there it is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that one. Here, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do this first. Just put a screwdriver in there to spread that. And then pull these out. There we go. Now I'm going to put it on mute and I'm going to try to get this square nut. Yeah, where's my little tiny screwdriver? I'm so close. There it is. Ah. Right there. A little sharp edge. There we go. Got it. I would replace the ball bearings for solid bearings. Are you talking about like the IGUS style? I'm not sold on that. Still has zip ties for Y rod holders. Yeah, and I printed the new ones. I'm letting Charlie back in. Yes. There you go. Q, I got in with Prusa from the beginning. It was fun doing all the updates as they came out. Oh yeah, I pre-ordered a Mark III in the fall of 2017. Yeah, I get that, Sanity. The zip ties being easier for maintenance. We'll give the new stuff a try, though. Let's pull all this stuff off. This has the newer version of the filament sensor, I think, and that's might be part of the Mark IIIs, if I remember right. We'll see what the Y tensioner looks like when we get this apart. Oh yeah, it has a black PSU. Isn't that one of the changes they made for the 3S as well? Is it Delta? Is that who makes it? Looks good here. Where we're gonna put this? Put it next to my new favorite coffee cup. There we go. The 3S and 3S Plus are different. Yeah, this is definitely not a 3S Plus, but I'm pretty sure it's a 3S. Yeah, and it has the Y tensioner with the screw that pulls together. You going to do the silicone mode on this one? Undecided. Undecided. I'm not sure. I want this to be minimum maintenance, and I'm undecided on that one. Now, when I pull this off, I don't know if I want to redo all the wiring. Maybe I do want to redo all the wiring. So I guess that stuff, so then we can pull this off. You ordered the Prusa Mark. Oh, you ordered the Prusa Mark II and then saw the the bill. Yeah. We are really just gonna tear this down to nothing, I guess. What is holding? Aha! One more zip tie. This out the side. There's a, Nathan, there's a stiction, not stick, but a stiction, where the tendency for it to take extra force to get moving. Once it's moving, they work well, but there's probably more stiction on those type of bearings. If I do any bed mod on this, it'll be silicone spacers rather than nylock nuts. Okay, I think we're just gonna pull these out and see what they look like. Let's see. See if we can detect any significant. There are some lines on here, but they're being removed with my fingernail, which means they're remnants from some grease or something. They're completely rubbing off. So I think these are okay. I want to keep these, I know they're different lengths, but I'm gonna keep them separate. I think these are okay. They're just kind of messy. Let's see if they wipe completely off. Yeah, had something on them. They look good after I wipe them down. Just to confirm, this one was the bad one. Yeah. Yeah, and I can definitely feel. And it's in it. This I wouldn't be comfortable rotating this. There are grooves in many. So there's a groove there. There's a groove there. There's a groove there. There's a light one there, and then around to the beginning. So there's 3 grooves within the first 180 degrees of this. So I wouldn't want to try to find the spot that it wouldn't be riding in that wear spot. We still have music going? Yeah. Where next? So this is the Mark 3s style Y tensioner here too. This'll. Oh, there we go. Thanks again, guys and gals. Yeah, one of the things that's going to be so satisfying in general on this is going to be having it all back together, and that first print. I'm looking forward to that. Just that whole feeling of getting something running, refreshing it. Okay, let's see how this one feels. This one's better, but there's a couple of spots in it that are rough. I might even have those, so we'll find out. Whoever put the head together over-tightened the screws. What? The head on what screws? Hey, Dark Neutrino. Ken, what head are you talking about? Over-tightening the screws. Those bed bearings are the rings and not the plates. Right. So these. Oh, whoever did you mean put the bed together? The x-axis, they crushed the bearings on. Oh, I get it. Yeah. I get it now. So are the brass ones any better? The brass. Maybe not screws with those zip ties holding the X carriage. Yeah. Well, I'll do some cleaning of the bearings. Probably do that off camera, and re-grease, and then run them along the good rails and see how they feel. Decide whether we need to do any replacement of parts. It's gonna be fun figuring out what screws went where, though. Oh well. Yeah, this is definitely not. There was no question. It's not new enough to be a Mark III Plus, Mark 3s Plus. It is a Mark III though, Mark 3s. Okay. that up there. Rest of this is apart. I guess we can take the Z drives off. Screw. I want to redo the wire management anyway, so let's just get rid of all this. There we go. That can go off to the side. Do these. Call it a U-bolt, yeah. Bunch of square nuts to recover from this. So how many people here have, I know this was asked before, I wasn't really paying attention. How many people here do have or have owned a Prusa Mark III? How many people have an XL on pre-order? That's good to know, Q. I think I've done that exact thing before. Ordered 2 rolls and a new flex sheet off Prusa's site. That one's being stubborn, so we're going to motivate the plastic to let it go. See? I knew it would see it my way. The new rail mounts need more square nuts. I've got a bunch of extra hardware. This one's being a bear too. There you go, the weekend warrior. I'm excited to see all the details on the XL, the extruder, all the neat things. Regardless of how well everything actually works out long term, it'll be interesting to see that extruder, the tool change setup, and how it might evolve over time. Because I mean, all of these, I mean, you've seen it in the, I mean, just the Mark III here, how it evolved over time, just little incremental changes. Oh, hey, Rodney. Uh-oh, now I'm going to feel a little self-conscious. Let's see. Dusty. What we got? I never ended up buying a Mini. I've heard really good things about it, but I never had a reason for one of those. I've recommended them to people. Yeah, Ken, these square nuts are they thin? Are they thinner or are they thicker than normal ones? I think they're thinner. And it used to be the only thin ones you could find in the US were the zinc coated steel ones. But I think they've become more common now. I found them on Amazon one time, ages ago. Yeah, Q, that's what I did. It smashed that last part against the table a little bit ago. Pork Spider, no. That is not the owner of the Prusa. However, Rodney is the owner of one of my old Prusas. But not this one. There we go. I'm just redoing all of this, so. Pull all the zip ties out. Do I have a link to the camera holder, not the Panzer one from last stream? I do not. I don't know that that one has shown up on the Voron mods yet. I need to talk to, that was one from Magic, I believe. And I need to try one with a different angle because I want to try one of these other cameras I bought using that mount and see how it goes. So I think I can get just a little different angle on the bottom with it. But I don't know that it's on the user mods GitHub yet. I'm just going all the way, strip this thing completely down. Suggested to oil under the black caps on the Z's. Okay. Yeah, that is one of them that I printed. I think I used this same blue filament, right, Rodney? Is it this color? If I remember right. I think I used the exact same filament. Does anybody know if we're gonna expect Prusa at Murph this year, or is it still too close? Too many restrictions in place. Who all here is going to Murph? Or planning on it anyway. Oh. Okay. Speaking of GitHub, can you show us how the new accelerometer mounts for the stealth burner are to be mounted? Maybe? Do I have the pieces? Question is, do I have the bits and pieces? I have one piece. Let's see if I have more. Maybe not. I don't have a tool head out of a printer. At least with the, oh, well. This is a, what is this? This is a Rapido tool head, and this is the little adapter bracket. So your accelerometer will bolt here. And then this screws onto the back of the tool head right there. And that just sits there temporarily. Does that help at all? Any recommendation for a friend first printer under $400? I think the safe choice is maybe like a Prusa Prusa Mini, or I've heard good things about that new Ender 3 S Pro 1 S1 whatever. Someone will know what that thing's actually called. Okay. Sean, I'm going to try to go to Murph. I only learned about it this year and was further excited. I learned about Murph right before, 2020. Well, I'd seen it the year before. I wanted to go for 2020, and then things got locked down. The S1, yeah. Yeah, this tray that I'm using to kind of try to wrangle the screws a little bit is, there's a design on Prusa printers that has really thin walls. So I just remodeled it, and there goes the square nut, with thicker walls and then a fillet on the inside. So it's easier to grab things. Okay, let's go through a few things. Now that it's all apart, everything's disassembled, and we can't just get into assembly because I need to do some evaluations on the bearings and the rods. Let's go into little sub pieces that I know are questionable. Let's start here with this fan. So we have a fan with some electrical tape on it. I don't know if that's just there as a strain relief, but let's take the tape off and see what we have going on. Oh yeah, we've got a cut wire at least. So let's see. We've got one wire that's loose there. You can tell. So let's get a closer look at what's going on. And that's actually broken, it looks like. Let's see. I'm gonna end up just resoldering this connector or this wire onto it. I don't know what's going on. Somebody Someone's modified this a little bit. Looks like the housing is housing's been cut up. I know the fan works because I had it turn on. So do I know the fan works? Maybe that was the Hotend fan. Well, let's solder it back together, and this is a 5-volt fan. I don't have an easy way to power that up. It does spin well. Let's just bank on it being okay. Break the soldering iron out. It's not rubbing. It spins freely. So quite the solder. Been at it for 30 years now, at least. That's probably what time? What was freshman year of high school? And I probably was soldering before that. Okay, let's see if we can get a decent view here. We're just gonna, it's all, the board is marked reasonably well for where wires go. So I'm just gonna pull this all the way off. It looks like someone might have been in here. Possible someone's been in here with the soldering iron before. It looks, where's my tweezers? There we go. I don't want to lose this other piece down in there, so there we go. Re-tin the pads. Solder of choice is stuff that I've had for probably at least 20 years. I don't even know. It's I can't read it. 6236-2 from some, I probably bought it at Fry's, or I got it from Rodney. See you, Nathan. Thanks for being here. I know it's really late where you are. It's really late where several of you are. I appreciate it. Okay, I know we have enough extra on this, so we're just going to snip all of those to the same length, and then we'll trim them, pin them, and solder them. Where are my... Uh-oh. My wire strippers are not where they go. I'm going to use super glue, Ken. I'm going to try super glue because there's a spot there that it looks like they'll glue to. And, oh, there they are. It's morning. It's time to go to work. Okay, so let's just... Well, this is gonna be visible, but one. Brace that against it. 2 and 3. Okay. And then there is a flat spot here on the fan housing, right behind here. I'm gonna put a drop of, I'm gonna put some super glue on there and then insta set it. I think it'll be fine. This doesn't move once it's on the printer, as long as the wires are routed well. This is what I've been doing on all of these 5015 fans. So right here. And then before it insta set it, might run a little bit on the top of it as well. Just try to recover a fan that's obviously been worked on. See what you're seeing. And then that's not moving. And moving okay. We'll see. I do have another one of these fans, the actual Prusa replacement fan, if we need to. I'm just trying to salvage as much as I can. Hey Nadir from Romania, welcome. JB Weld Super Weld, huh? UV activated? I have to look into that. UV, a general UV glue. Oh, that's holding well. And it's not going to be exposed to any temperatures or anything, so I think it'll be okay. Oh, let's turn off the iron. Okay, so that, guessing that it will function, is out of the way. Let's take the board. Oops. Go back here now. Actually, this was probably the better view. Okay. Trying to recover some more screws or nuts. Okay, we'll probably go maybe until about 7:30 today. That's about another hour, depending on if I can find enough things to make progress on this. And then if the possibility of having to skip this weekend stream, depending on if I have to be have other things going on. If we do a stream this weekend and I have enough ready, we'll work on this. If I don't have enough ready, we'll work on the 3018 CNC. But I'd like to get this done. Just recovering all these square nuts out of here. Prusa likes these. It'd be interesting what it would take to mod all the parts for like where it's appropriate a heat set instead. And I wonder if you could simplify the build that way in terms of like fastener lengths and stuff. That print's still going. Oh, you don't see the print in this view. That's okay. Did I say I had a modified handle for the 2.4, like the top handles? I did adapt. I did modify the 2.2 handles. If people, it would be helpful if folks have suggestions for things to put on my GitHub. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. One, what do you call it? Engagement, right? And two, I read every one and I try to respond to everyone. So that would be a good reminder. I'm sorry about that. My watch band caught the box. I am way behind on updating that. So okay, let's see how everything fits in the new piece. I see some filament drooping. So just kind of clearing that out a little bit. There, I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming on these. There's a tape on it. Oh, go here. Just any little filament droop Hoping the square nuts will fit in there a little easier. Yeah, there we go. That went right in. Yep, they're going in okay. They're tight, but there we go. Any suggestions? I need to improve my toolhead cooling, part cooling. I use an E3D V6 on a Wanhao i3 V2. I have no idea what that printer looks like, Nadir, as far as what cooling comes with. Q, because Prusa provides all the tools, so they would need to add a soldering iron to the kit. That's true. Heat sets are more expensive than square nuts. I get it. That makes sense. Especially in the model that Prusa has. It's a lot easier to expect your average builder to insert a square nut than a heat set insert. Any automotive projects this summer? We'll see. I have a 1965 MGB that I've had for a while. I just haven't started that project. It's a serious, it's in bad shape. It will be a serious project. So I'm still determining whether that's going to be a thing or not. I'm pulling these hex nuts in from the back with a screw. Huh. Well, that's annoying. Oh, that's what I remember about these stainless. They like to gall when you do this. So I'm going to grab a steel screw. And make that MGB all electric. No. As much as I can get away with, it should be what the hell happened there? It should be stock, original. There we go, that one's in enough. Fun fact, Steve built that rad power integrated workbench about 15 years ago. I have lived in my current house for right at 15 years, Rodney. Which means I built this, I think I built this in the last place. So it's been maybe 17 years since I built this workbench. Thanks, Nadir. This is Stream Beats. It's royalty free. It's easy. I don't have to worry about any takedown notices. There we go. Okay, those are in. Let's put the controller back in here. Yeah, the MGB I have is a 1965, which is if you're gonna have an MGB, that's the year to have. It belonged to my grandfather, and it's been sitting for 30 years. So it's rough. It's one of those where I need to get it apart before I can determine if it's really worth it. See ya, Steve. Thanks for being here. Okay. So that, I don't think we want to put it on the frame yet because it might just be in the way. But at least it's... Oh, I got some parts that I had finished printing here. At least it's together. We can put maybe some of these pieces. Yeah, I went ahead and printed the clips in the accent color. There's two versions of the bed clip. There's an 8mm one and a whatever the other size is. The one that was on here is a smaller one. I didn't know, so I printed both. Oh, I'm missing a square nut. I gotta clear out the hole. There we go. And these all have to come right back off, but at least I won't lose them. What color? It is red, or it's a very weathered red right now. It was red with a white top and I think black interior when it was in good shape. I'm going to keep it red. However, I'm undecided on the other colors, interior and top. Okay. Before I forget, the new Stealth Burner beta fixed my grinding issues. Okay. Is that the one that Wiley just released with the alternate Geidler geometry? I've been trying that with some TPU and it seems to be working well for SaneSmart. I'm having a hard time with NinjaFlex, but I think it's not bunching up. So I've got a tension issue, but it's not bunching up. It's just kind of walking on. I think it's just walking on the filament. There we go. Controller housing looks pretty good. Knock everything over. What can we do next? Get the display all set up. Have bits and pieces for that. Can you hear that? Here, let's go here. Real danger is that they have the LDO 2.4 on order, but now I also want a 2.4 150. 150 is a small printer. I think if you're going for a small 2.4, a 200 is a good size because all the parts, all the skirts and stuff are easy and everything fits. You can use all the same bits. It's just a little complicated in the electronics compartment because you don't have a lot of room there. But unless you're going 150 and do like a micron instead of a 2.4. So like I said, we haven't earned pulling that film off. That'll have to be the next stream. I should be getting enough stuff to do a salad fork. So we'll see how that goes. Little built-in support here that Prusa does. Oop, there it goes. If any parts are going to be tight, this is one of them because it's a long part. Lots of opportunity for that ABS shrinkage to have an effect. But it seems okay. There might be, yeah, there's a built-in, I think there's a built-in support in here. So let's knock those out. There we go. I think the thumb screen I had was related to the rock because it was just too strong. Okay. Causing it to bind up. Micron is 1515. I don't blame you for not being interested in a 1515 printer. It has a whole other set of considerations when you're dealing with something that you don't have an option for, like post-install T-nuts is the big thing. But if you're doing a small V2 then, a 2020 base V2, I'd recommend a 200 and then probably maybe use like the Prusa mini beds on it. You'll have a little bit of extra travel outside of the build area, but at least you'd have a bed size that's easy to get. I don't know what that is. There's a rattle in there. I don't know what that is. I want to find out. I hear something, and I don't know where it would be. This is KVP fluorescent blue ABS. It must have been just something, it must have been just a little piece of plastic. Because I don't hear it now. Let's see if it goes away when I put it back together. There are custom post-install T-nuts for 1515. I don't know how that works. I need to look at that. 713 maker. I'll have to check that out because that would be interesting. The green hexagonal thing is printed. It's just a little screw tray. Now I modeled that one from scratch, but I was inspired by a part I saw on Prusa printers. I printed it, but it was a little thin for my taste, and they didn't have a CAD file, so I just modeled it. Let me see if I can find what I based it off of. Let's go to Prusa printers, and let's just try an easy tray. Or maybe hex tray. What else might it be? I know I found it. Screw tray? Something along these lines. I know I downloaded it off of here. I just may not be able to find it. Maybe I searched for, because I was printing it for my nephew for his RC cars. So let's say RC parts tray. Yeah, I don't remember where I got it. Maybe sorting tray? Let's try that. Oh, there it is. Hexagon tray. There it is. This is what I based it off of. But the walls were a little thin, and there's no fillet here on the inside, which makes it harder to grab like a washer or something out of there. With a fillet, it kind of rides up the side. So that's what I based the idea off of. I just remodeled it. It's a super easy model in Fusion 360. Whew, it is warm. So. Yeah, that'll look good. My friend will be happy. I printed the updated. Yep, that will work. Let's recover the square nuts from here. There we go. And do these need to be... No, and they're just gonna fall in there, so I'm not even gonna put those in because I'm just gonna constantly lose those, so I'll just put them in my thin hexagon desk tray, my thicker hexagon, my thick hexagon desk tray. And chat's in the way, darn it. Thick hexagon desk tray. Let's play with the extruder. Whoa. You like the color scheme on the Trident? Which one, Rodney? The orange one or the purple one? Okay, so this is okay. I'm gonna take this off and then probably go to the Prusa documentation for assembling one of these and get some of it put together. I do not have any KVP fluorescent green. I have fluorescent green from another company, but I never bought any. Dust on here. Oh yeah, I love that orange. I still think the green on this V2, I think this is still my favorite green, my favorite frame, but the orange is probably a really close second. And the Lambo desk tray. So that, are there any fasteners in this piece to recover? Doesn't look like it. This is version C1. So am I correct? So I think Prusa does a different scheme, version scheme, whether it's a pre-built machine or a kit. So all the parts you download from GitHub have R version numbers, and this C would indicate that this is a part that they assembled in-house. So I think you'd like, there's a C1. And then if you grab the same part, this is R7. Davey, the hex tray is printed in Sparta 3D. What do they call it? And where did I put it? Oh, it's on a printer over there. It's Sparta 3D green. Sparkle green. They call it candy green. Sparta 3D candy green. So this is a printer that has been used. The Bondtech gears have some plastic in them, in the teeth in a couple of spots I saw. Actually, yeah, just a little bit. I'm just going to use the tip of my X-Acto knife to very quickly run through and clear these while I have the most access to it here before I assemble pieces around it. And yeah, so let's see if we can do some of the extruder assembly. I don't remember if you have to do some of this on the printer. I think I can do some of it before I bolt it to the printer, right? The number is the same, but the letter indicates whether it's an in-house assembled farm or whatever versus something, whether they printed or you printed it, right? Let's go here. We're gonna go about another 20-ish minutes, 20 or 30 minutes. Let's go to the top. I want to go to the top, or I just want to go back? I want to go back, and we're going to go to the E-axis assembly. I'm going to skip around. I'm going to grab these pieces and some of this stuff. So let's grab some of these pieces. That piece. That piece. That piece. So all of these turned out. I think they turned out really well. I don't know if I can get a bad light picture here. Yeah, Andrew, Prusa uses the what is that? Kazoki? What is that? It's something Oki. Dozuki. Dozuki or whatever. Setup for their assembly manuals. They're all, I think it's the same stuff that iFixit uses. It's the same back-end system. See you, Rodney. Thanks for being here. Okay, so we are going to throw some hex nuts in here. So something they gained there are by not injection molding is some flexibility in versioning and stuff. I mean, injection tooling is very expensive. So just think, if they were injection molding everything, they would be much more hesitant to iterate on parts because it would be expensive. Maxime, I think I printed all of these on the orange Trident here. Let's go back here. I'm just pulling these hex nuts in, just making sure they're seated. Okay, so we got 2 hex nuts and a square nut. And then that is a M3 by 10. And this is for the Hinda mount. So that's fine. And then I think I had a little bit of elephant's foot on this. So I'm gonna get my magnification. I'm gonna very carefully just side scrape it with the X-Acto knife. This knife here I've been using for a while. It's pretty dull right now, but it works well for this little operation. Make sure that hole is clear and the magnet. There we go. Little post-processing. Oh, shoot. I knocked my microphone. See if there we go. That's better. They can make a new version quickly and distribute it digitally. Correct. Back to the instructions. Flip the extruder body and throw an M3, a square nut up here. There we go. Quicker iteration is definitely a plus. I just wonder if they do it often enough to make it worth it versus the NRE tooling costs. I'm sure. Well, and it's not just that, but to have your customers be able to update their own stuff. Charlie's sleeping. Were you here earlier, Brant? We had a pretty good Charlie visit at the beginning of the stream. So we got all of the fasteners in here. Now we have to put a magnet in. Take the smaller magnet, insert it carefully. Majority, okay, so the smaller magnet is over here, still in the old part. Now, fortunately, Prusa has made it so you can push. So this is where the magnet goes in. They've given a hole in the back so you can push the magnet out, which is, otherwise it'd be very difficult to recover these. That goes in with a nice fit. Good friction fit. Slide right in. And then we'll have to pay attention to the orientation on the other one. I would hope, so yeah, they are doing some injection molding where it makes sense. Probably larger parts. But I would hope that they are keeping anything that they're going to injection mold will have a printed equivalent. I don't know that they're doing that, but I would hope that they're doing that. Secure the part with an M3 by 18. Do I have an M3 by 18? Is that a normal size? Where is my... Yep, that's an M3 by 18. Okay. And that threads into plastic right there, which is perfectly fine for this. And then we want to probably tighten this down to where it just touches and then back it off so that this moves very freely. Without binding up. So just a hair off. Well, they stress test their own stuff too that way, right? So they've got a farm of their printer that they're selling, printing the parts for their printer. See ya, Maxine. Thanks for being here. So now it says here the orientation for the other one is just so it repels this magnet. Hey, Jared. We are playing with the other side. Now that repels. And that's pretty clever. I mean, when they first did this, I don't know how many other places have done a filament sensor like that, but I think that's pretty clever. I like it. Where is this ball bearing? It's going to go in this little printed piece here. I think this just sits. Do they want us to do this yet? How are you doing, Jared? You keeping busy? What are you playing with lately? Just give a little top. Okay. That has a little keyed spot it goes into. There we go. And now I have some piece of filament. And that goes through there. The ball bearing pushes that lever into place. Is that V24 printing the parts for the Prusa? No, it's printing some parts for an Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder setup. Had an insanely busy morning to the point where I was burnt out by about 3. I left work a little early today too. Work an hour early since I didn't have time to take a lunch break. Yep. Working on your buddies 2.4. Test with filament. Everything goes well. So let's see. That holds in by itself, so now we can set that aside and grab the next piece for the R6 part. Waiting on some new magnets to be delivered. You need them a little stronger. Okay, so we're going to use 2 M3x10s. And I'm going to, all of this is already together on this, so. Just orientation where the wires come out. So we're going to put that on there like that. Deep 6, 2000, is that yen? Or is that Japanese yen, or am I mistaken? Thank you. Or am I completely off base there on the currency? I like to know, but often I get it wrong. I'm looking forward to playing with, I'm both looking forward and very much dreading working, building the ERCF, because that's a complicated system and there will be much fumbling on stream. So how are you, Deep 6, with the did the earthquake, the earthquake, was that today, affect you? Is that yet today or yesterday? I haven't looked at the news for most of the day, so I don't know what effect it's had. That's those two. Hopefully you and yours are fine. See you, the Weekend Warrior. Thanks for being here. And then the Bondtech gear alignment. They want you to do that right now, huh? Let's see if we can get any kind of view on this. Where'd that little piece of filament I had go? Is it in the other piece? No. I'll just cut a new piece. Shaken but not stirred. So no big tsunami or anything. So I'll probably do a final adjustment on this after this is together, because I know I can sneak a wrench in there, but that looks really close right now. Now we're on to this piece. There we go. And what is that? Use an Allen wrench. I'll do that. I feel like it's easier to eyeball when it's together. So it's like a square nut here. That went in great. Nothing over there yet. Okay. And then we got the hot end to go together. So this lasted a few minutes. So we have the hot end. I think everything is good here. We're gonna have to cut a new piece of PTFE tube. Take 2 M3x10 screws, 2 of these, and insert them into this piece. Doing this now makes the assembly slightly easier. Okay. Hey, JP Gray. I did not, Sean. I should have, because I love Haribo gummy bears. I like a lot of the gummy stuff from them. Actually, they're not my favorite gummy bears or gummy worms, but some of their other stuff is good. I like it, but there's some better stuff here that I've had. See you, Q. What is it? It starts with an A brand that we have here that's really good. I thought it started with an A. Hey, Radian. Let's see what the instructions are having us do here. That goes there and that goes there. So what are we doing for... Uh-oh. Failed print, Jared? Yeah, that sounds right. Ken, it's something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see. It is Albanese. Albanese. This brand. These are delicious. Albanese. Used to buy them at Fry's. That's where I learned about them. Is the high pressure sales item at the end, getting in line to check out. They had the snacks along there, and Albanese was one of the things. There was another brand that was really good too. It had like a tropical island kind of theme on their packaging, but I don't remember what it was called. Pex Peppers. This is going to be a bone stock, except for printed out of ABS Prusa. I'm not doing a switch or anything. This is for a local friend. So we're rebuilding it, making sure that it can be a nice, reliable printer for him. So, PTFE tubing. We want this stuff. So one of the problems that this was having is, let's see if we can see it. Now there's two pinches in this tubing. This one I caused when I had to grab it with pliers to pull it out. But this one down here, I couldn't feed past. So something had crimped it and it wasn't allowing me to feed filament before. So we're gonna replace this. And I guess we can use it for the length. For the length. What do I have for good? I don't want to use that. What do I want to use? I've got some. I still have. This is the orange PTFE tube that came with my first MMU2 that I bought. I had one of the very first MMU2s because even though I didn't order first, mine shipped and got here really early. In like August of 2018? Is that when they were released? That's when my MMU2 arrived. Let's look at this. I love peach rings. I do like peach rings. Let's use this stuff. We are going to use my little jig and that end is fine. Let's see how long this needs to be. Looks like about 43.5. $43.5. I do have some Capricorn. I kind of debated whether I should use that for this. What do you think, Sean? Well, I guess I know what you think. I didn't know if I should use Capricorn for this. This is also a 1 point. That actually says 1.8 millimeter. I wonder if that's going to be a problem. I thought it said 1.9. Filament feeds into it nice. There's no friction there. I'm not normally I don't really care about Capricorn, but I thought the 1.9 or whatever might be a good idea. That's the right length. Let's just go with this since I cut it. I also somewhere in my, I think in my little junk drawer here, I have a jig that I downloaded somewhere for cutting the chamfer on oh, there it is. It's in this other thing. I don't even know where I got this, but this little piece here, you put your X-Acto knife in this slot, bottomed out in this slot, like that. And then you run the end. You run this in, and it will cut the chamfer in the end. I apologize. I don't remember. Stock tube is 1.85, so this 1.8 stuff is perfect. Okay. I don't remember where I got that, but I'm sure there's a billion equivalents out there now. It is a pencil sharpener. Exactly. It's just printed. So I've got that chamfer on that end, and then I bought ages ago a nice sharp countersink bit that I use for the other end. And that creates a really nice chamfer in there. So I cut it to 42.3. Oh, maybe I stretched this one then when I pulled it out, because I was going off of this, and this is 43.4. I figured the end might be a little munch, so I went 43.5. Dr. Roney, this is the end that goes into the V6. From the factory, Prusa puts an external chamfer on this side. The other side has an internal chamfer. That's where the filament feeds through, and that just helps to make sure the filament doesn't get caught on it. Jared, I like the ES15. It works really well. I just have to remember to use it. Mr. Clown, I'm gonna bring this up and see if you are correct. So give me a second to pull that up on Prusa printers. That looks like the same one. Let me just for, it appears to be the same one. When I downloaded it, it wasn't part of a set of things though. So I'll put that link there for everyone else's benefit. Emmanuel, finally caught a live monthly subscription fee. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is that Australian? Thank you. A stream hiccup. Did anybody else see a stream hiccup, or was that just Jared? I've got bits and pieces around here somewhere. I've got all my Prusa extras. I was going to see if I have any. That might be a pre-cut piece. Oh no, that's 50 millimeters. That's not. I was seeing if I had anything that was 49. Yeah. None of those are the correct thing. Let's see how it fits in here. We can cut it down if we need to. It buffered. Hey, Jason. Oh, is it really the 7th? Oh, it is the 17th tomorrow. Ooh. Okay, so that external chamfered end goes into the V6. And then, I don't know, the little, I always push it down and then pull this up. There's a little clip. I should have a clipper on here somewhere. Oh, there it is. But you want to make sure that that is, that the PTFE tube is pushed all the way in with that black clip, or the blue clip underneath the black collet thing. And then this goes in here, and I am about 1 millimeter too long. So I'm going to pull this all apart and cut a millimeter off of that. Cut a millimeter off of it. So 42.3 is where we want it to be. So I'm going to cut it off the internal chamfered end. And I'm just going to cut off, I'm going to put this in here, go to .3. That's what I'm told it should be. 42.4. That'll be fine. The one that came out was pre-cut from Prusa. Okay, so that, and then re-chamfer the inside. Where are we at? There. Put that up, put the clip in. Let's see how this fits. Yep, fits right in there now. I did push the, well, I did it for the last couple of streams. I did push my bit rate since my upload speed got upgraded about a month ago. So I might be pushing it a little much. Okay. Now I already put some torque. I didn't hot torque it, but I did tighten this pretty good. So I think we're okay there. I'll try to hot torque it once the printer's together. I keep wanting to build a little setup so I can hot torque these outside of a printer, because it's really hard on a V6 to get in there. But I do have a new tool to try. How about these Engineer low profile adjustable wrench? I saw it and couldn't resist. I think someone on Discord had mentioned it. How far into that print were you on? Let's see where we're at. And I'm out of my drink, so give me a second because my throat's getting dry. So I'll be right back. That print that I'm running on the Green V2 is almost done. Here, let's see something. This is in the way here, so I probably don't want to leave that there, but it might be in the way depending on what I'm viewing, so. So we want to put this in here. Can we get away with putting the heater cartridge and the thermistor in later? I'm gonna try it. I know this is, I don't know if I trust how much this has been bent. So I want to bend it as little as possible. So if I have to pull it partially apart towards the end to get the heater cartridge in there, then I will. Put that on. And what are those screws? Insert two M3x40s. Tighten them. Okay. We've got this. We prepared two M3x40s before. Should go in here like this. Oh. Leave that there. Oh, that print just finished. Two M3x40s. That is a 30. Here's a 40. Does it really say 40? Wow. They are way longer than... I believe there's some cable management involved during assembly. Yeah. I just don't want to work on those. I don't want to be moving things around. I should have there's another M3x40. Just don't want to move it around with that and putting more strain on that heater cartridge. So we'll see. I may regret it, but we'll go with it. Those really stick out the back though. I don't know if that's normal. Oh, no, it's not normal because I'm supposed to put that in there. Okay, maybe I'm getting a little tired now. Maybe we're close to done. That's why it looks so odd. Put that there, that there. Can you share what you're printing, Jared? This goes there with the heater in that direction. Then this goes on there. Then we get this piece is what I was missing a second ago. And then the M3x40s. That makes a lot more sense. I don't think I could get the ES15 in here anyway. It's too close to the stepper. They said those will stick out a little bit. And this is where I'm seeing that the filament path is a little off, so I'm going to correct that now. Try that. I have a running. That is about, yeah, that's perfect. your redesign of your laptop holder. Yeah, ERCF parts are done, letting it cool down and release. Yeah, Patrick, the 2.4 cam is the one I installed the other day. I'm really pleased with that. I bought 3 more of them. So I'll be installing them on other printers so I can do things like this, show prints that are going on while I'm streaming, which I really like. Then we got X-curd preparation. Why don't we skip? I don't do that yet. I'm going to put the idler on, or at least put the idler together. Can we put that on? Is there any reason not to put the filament sensor on? I don't think there's any reason why not. So a little feedback there, Sanity. The bar turns dark really low temperature. It'd be nice unless there's some reason otherwise. So let me know. But I'd prefer it probably to turn dark 10 or 15 degrees warmer. Because the parts have completely, it doesn't actually turn dark until under 40 C. I feel like it could be turning dark a little earlier. I have very little time on it right now, Rando. I really like the satin finish that it's leaving, and so far it's sticking really well. On all of my other print surfaces, I've gotten in the habit of using glue stick. Very super thin, super light coating of glue stick. But I mean, that's where you see the highlight of the parts on this plate. It's a very thin coating, and I just refresh it with IPA between prints. And I get very good results with it. No corner lifting, no brims, works really well. This one, I haven't done any treatment on it, and it seems to be working well. I get that, Sanity. I just think it's probably, well, it's fine. I guess it's fine. At 50 C, you're not, I don't know that you're burning anything, but I get it. Yes, I was careful not to tighten this too tight. It should be fine. I guess they're supposed to be coming out with the bigger sizes, right? Sanity 300 build is... straighten the heater block on here, even though I'll probably have to pull it apart again. Oh boy. So let's wind down. Let's give it another 5 or 6 minutes. This print, I'll let this cool down a little more before I pop those parts off. And I'll just kind of reorganize, start putting tools away here. You can take it off the printer and collect the parts on the bed. Yeah. Have you guys seen? I kind of like this. This is my tool drawer here that I'm constantly reaching into for my tools. This is, I built this a while back, and it's got a tray here for all my screwdrivers, and I just set all my screwdrivers in here. It works out pretty well. And little storage cubbies back here, the deburrs, some reamers, stuff. And then I can slide this for some additional storage up here. Wrenches and This is where I'm always reaching into for my screwdrivers. Yeah, no problem, Ken. This was fun. The plan would be, if I can stream this weekend, and I think I'll be able to, but it's possible I may have to skip it. We'll continue this build, assuming I can get a few things sorted. We'll continue this build on Sunday. And then I'll hold off for the following weekend, probably for the 3018 build, unless something else comes up. Those are kind of, 3018 is kind of a filler build. So depending on if I have a hard time finding other things to do. So if, like I said, you'll just see, I try to schedule the stream the night before. So just keep an eye out for it. No problem, Ms. Scooby. This is good. This is fun. I told you I have fun. I have fun working on these things. So this is not arduous at all. Let's see if this is still hot. Here, let's do this. Let's clear a little spot here. Let's see if we can get a view of that sticker, of that indicator changing color. I'd love to see a VZ235 build. What's a VZ235? Is that the VZ bot? I have extra bearings, Ken, and unfortunately, I have no idea. Oh, you probably didn't hear that. It cracked the releasing from the parts. Unfortunately, I don't know which bearings were the top ones. I didn't mark them. I should have. I'll just go through and feel them all. See which ones feel smooth. Just be extra critical on them. I didn't mark any of them. I think my preference, if I was doing a different build, a Crow XY style. Did you hear that? Over something that's just another Core XY. I don't know if that cracking came across on my microphone. It was pretty loud from here. See? And my little Prusa modeled in or modifier tab worked wonders on that. That was perfect. Say, oh, you can see it turning dark. Yeah, I won't be building an annex. End of story. But yeah, this turned out really well. You can see the plate turning dark. Let's see if we can get a good view of that first layer. I got my first layer height much more dialed in. Can we get a good light? See the satin sheen? So Charlie is still asleep. Just break this little tab off and it's all of these pieces just pulled right off. No lifting. Yeah, this worked out pretty well. Good night, James. Hi, John. You're here just in time for the end. How often have you redone a PEI plate? I have not. More than like once, because I'm so fixated on these coated sheets. Almost everything I have is a Prusa textured sheet or a Matter Hackers textured sheet that the older version I use on my 300 builds, or the LDO one on the 300 build. Yes, these do show every smudge. I'm gonna have to spend extra time cleaning that spot. So I haven't done much for PEI. I have some sheets of CS hide and some bare steel plates, and a cold roller, but I haven't gotten around to trying it. So, but this is 99% IPA. And that's what I've been doing between prints on here, is wiping it off with this 99%. And it is gone. So it cleans off nice. Yeah, I'm pleased with the surface. So this is pretty much what I imagine the Prusa satin sheet leaves. I just can't get the satin sheet, the Prusa satin sheet I can't get ABS to not lift on it. And this has been, I'm pleased. Over time, we'll see. But right now, I'm pleased with it. I bought a case of this stuff from Amazon. Probably the same stuff a lot of you guys have. I'm still going through the case. I bought this case like 3 years ago. But I'm going through it much quicker in the last couple of years than the first year. Cat hair on the back. There we go. Yeah, I want to like the satin sheet, but I can't get it to stick. So oh yeah. That'd be maybe a sanity question. Do they have a timeline, Sanity, on other sizes? An estimate? My coworker used whatever he had available, usually 70%. Yeah, that's not good. I've got about, I think I've got 4, 1, 2, oh, I have four bottles left, plus that one. So I'm not too far off from having to buy another case. With that, thank you everyone. This is, I feel like, a pretty successful weeknight chill and work on a printer. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody. And keep an eye out on the notifications for if I'm streaming this weekend. I think I will be. I hope I will be, but just in case. So, with that, have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'll see you next time. Bye. Now I gotta find the mouse.